Michigan's rock station, Q106.
Hey, I'm Q106's Terry Stevens. Capital City Comic-Con is coming back to the Lansing Center in downtown Lansing, June 30th through July 2nd. Once again, it has a star-studded lineup of geek culture celebrities. We're going to be talking to them in the weeks leading up to the big show. Our guest this time around, you've heard his voice on shows like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Darren Dunstan. Q106, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, it's Darren Dunstan.
Darren Dunstan! Hey, dude, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm Terry Stevens, and I am stoked to run into you and everybody else at Capital City Comic-Con coming up here at the end of the month at the Lansing Center in downtown Lansing.
All right. How are you?
I'm doing great, dude. Let's take a look at your resume real quick. You've got a couple of just massive roles that are huge in geek culture, including, I got to know, I mean, dude, you're the voice of Pegasus in Yu-Gi-Oh! Do you get booed by children when you do this thing in public?
Surprisingly, they seem to like me. It's like I'm living up their evil streak that they all feel. You know what I mean?
they're living vicariously through your misdeeds.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it. And now, you know, voicing such an iconic character. I mean, I got to know. Have you picked up the cards? Have you played the actual game?
I have tried in a very basic way, and I got to tell you, I'm not very good at it. I often go to tournaments, you know, as a guest and watch these people do their thing, and they're at such a high level that they go so quickly, and it all goes over my head. I try to, you know, understand the logistics of the game, like when we're recording an episode, but even that sometimes I have to ask a team of people to explain it to me.
Gotcha. You know, worst comes to worst, you just kidnap one of their grandparents. It'll be fine. It's all good. Yeah.
Pegasus' go-to. Yeah.
Yeah. F around and find out, kids.
Yeah. Cheating. That's his bag.
There you go. Now, one of your other huge roles is you play the role of the iconic Master Splinter in one of the editions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. So that's another that particular version of the series. I had a chance to talk to several of the Turtles. I mean, that voiceover session, that has to be so fun.
It was crazy. I mean, we sort of knew each other beforehand. You know, a lot of us have worked on previous shows together, but it was the first time, you know, all five of us were thrown into a booth together, and you know, it was crazy. Certain actors, you know, were more nuts than others, but I think that was the point. You get us to play off of each other and improvise a little bit, and just feel really comfortable and bond, kind of like a family.
I think one of the things that maybe the average civilian doesn't know is that, I mean, oftentimes when you're recording voiceovers for animation, everybody goes in and records their lines separately. But TMNT was a much different session. They would actually get you guys in the room together.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of it is kind of a lonely process. It's just you in a glass booth where, you know, a team of people are staring at you and talking about it, and you can't hear what they're saying. But this was different. This was like, let's throw everybody into the booth, and I think primarily just to see what sort of comedy would come out. That's the main reason you do group sessions, is to just sort of, you know, finesse the timing and come up with cool stuff, you know.
So with these two massive roles, you've got the mentor of our favorite amphibious pizza chomping ninjas, and you've got the mega bad guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! What do you prefer to play, the good guy or the bad guy?
I gotta say the bad guy. I mean, it for some reason I've been cast as that a lot in my life on, you know, stage and TV and stuff, and yeah, you just kind of get to like be a snarky, elevated, cleverer version of yourself, you know? It was also like the first big voiceover gig that I had was Pegasus, so that kind of makes it extra special too. Oh, sorry.
It sounds like you got a guess there. What kind of dog do you have, man?
Oh, she's a real mix. She's a whole bunch of stuff, and crazy is what she is.
Gotcha. Now, do you ever talk to her in the Pegasus voice when she needs to calm down and stop barking at the mailman or what have you?
Dogs are the best way to like try out new voices, because you don't look like a total idiot, because you think it just seems like you're talking to your dog in a fun voice, but you can really sort of find some new stuff. I'm not sure what big a fan she is of me, but you know.
So this is something I've always wondered, and when I knew I was going to be talking to voiceover professionals such as yourself, I have to know, like when your favorite song comes on the radio or on your mixtape, do you ever break out? Do you ever sing along to it in one of the character voices?
I think I'm too vain to do that. I want to sound like as best as I can, even though I'm alone in the shower or in the car. I do remember once we did a promo where we all got to do the national anthem in our character's voice, so that was a total highlight. Splinter turns out has like an opera background, and it was fun.
Lovely. I'm just wondering if we were ever going to hear Pegasus sing, like, I don't know, Disturbed Down with the Sickness or something like that.
Oh my gosh. I think he'd be like a cabaret jazz standard kind of guy, don't you?
Yeah, probably. I mean, a little more Miles Davis, maybe, that sort of thing. That might be his jam.
That's fun. I'd be into that.
I love it. So, Dustin, Darren, have you attended these cons as a fan in the past? Were you a big geek culture guy growing up?
Not so much, to be totally honest with you. It kind of was a brand new world I was exposed to, I guess when I started Yu-Gi-Oh! Or, Pokemon, that sort of thing. It kind of opened my eyes to what a cult following there could be for a show. And you never think, you record some episodes and you never think like 20 years later you'll still be celebrating that character and people will still care,
And what is your favorite thing about attending these cons as a guest, as a panelist?
It's super fun. I mean, it kind of reminds you, that people are actually watching it. Like I mentioned, it can be an isolating process. It's just you and the director and the producer and that sort of thing. But like that, actually to see the fans' reactions, and sometimes it's light and fun, and sometimes it runs deep. I think the shows have affected people on a surprisingly deep level. So that's always kind of cool to hear their stories and how they've connected with the show.
We kind of dug into the Pegasus character a bit. What's one of your favorite aspects of the Master Splinter character from TMNT?
I'm a huge dry humor fan. I think my general brand of humor in real life is dry. I'm the B. Arthur of the group. You know what I mean? And Splinter got to be that, while all this chaos is happening and crazy Mikey and angry Raph and, opinionated Leo and brainy Donatello, I was just the sort of dry zinger at the end who got to steal, got some cool punchlines and got to just sort of judgely roll his eyes, which is kind of who I am.
Got it. So what is next for Darren Dunstan? What project do you have coming up?
Well, I direct a lot, so I'm currently directing the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, which is actually coming to a close. We're in the final stretch. I think we have about 3 more episodes to record, and I think there are about maybe 15 or so more to air. It airs on Hulu and Disney. So I'm working on that. I've been consulting on a new show that I can't talk about. So I dabble in a bunch of stuff. Nickelodeon, I direct a lot for various different networks. So that's always busy. So
when you're directing, you're primarily the voice director. Yes, I see you're credited with that.
Yeah, so I'm the one, on the other side of the glass coaching the actors, getting the reads that we like, making sure that, once all the actors' performances are put together, that it's going to make sense, sound cohesive, sound like they're talking to each other, sort of shaping the episodes where it gets intense, where it's subtle. That's my job, which I love because I get to work with actors on a daily basis. So it's still very creative, but it's also sort of, I'm like sort of the puzzle maker in some ways, So
when someone steps into the booth that is being directed by Darren Dunstan, what is the number one rule?
You must obey. Just kidding. I think fun. I want your sense of humor. I want your sensibility on the performance. So keep your signature style, but be open to collaborate. And that's for both the director and the actor to sort of, have an idea of where you want things to go, but then also just be ready to accept, the curveballs, the interesting performances, or the interesting directing suggestions. And that's kind of how the art is created, you know?
Absolutely. Now, Darren, this con is going to be happening in downtown Lansing, Michigan. I see you're from Toronto. Have you ever ventured to our fair state? Have you crossed the bridge?
I sure have. Yeah, it's not far at all. I've been to Detroit a couple times. Once on a theater tour, and once as a kid. I've been there quite a bit, and like you said, Windsor's just across the border. I've never been to Lansing though, so I'm excited to go.
Oh, very cool, man. Well, you're gonna love it here. Lots of cool stuff to check out. Of course, you got Capital City Comic-Con coming up June 30th through July 2nd, downtown Lansing at the Lansing Center. Darren, we cannot wait to hear you talking on the panels and stuff. And please don't kidnap anybody's grandfather when you're there. That's the only thing we ask. That'd be great.
Thanks so much. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great, pre-4th of July blast.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Darren, be well, man. Take care.
Thank you.
Michigan's Rock Station, Q106.